Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, patch 7.3.5 is finally live. The good, there's a little bit of bad, and the buggy, of course. Plus, all of the new Overwatch things. Oh my gosh, that and so much more as Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. And welcome to the Battlenet News from the Battlenet News broadcast bunker in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is January 23rd, 2018, and it is now 10:13 in the PM, everybody, and that's Central Time. Thanks for joining us from around the Blizzard universe. My name is Pat Crane. I am your host of the show, and we've got a full cast tonight of players. And first up, from Tauren Think Tank and Nerf This, and the Battlenet Sports Show, of course. It's Jules Scott. Hey, Jules.
Hey, Pat. We're dealing with a little bit of snow situation here in the Minneapolis broadcast bunker area, but we're here to do a show, even though you didn't want to give us a snow day.
Right.
Today.
No, I didn't. And I'll talk about this in a second, but I want to bring in everybody else. Okay. Also from Lords of the Storm, a podcast about Heroes of the Storm, it's Gizmo!
Wow. Thank you for that introduction, Pat. Wow. I appreciate it. Wow. For a second, I thought we were doing the Blizzard weather show, with Jules leading in with the snow.
Right.
Why not, right?
Right.
You know, got to give the people what they want. They want the weather.
Right. Well, maybe actually that's the next show, Battlenet Weather. That's what we're going to do next. Also from Lagging Balls and the Battlenet Sports Show, it's Thyst. Hey, Thyst.
Hi.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much. Not much.
Well, I'm sorry about your snow situation, but I'm actually not, because I'm from Canada and
right.
Snow here is laughable.
No,
laughable.
Yeah, you know all about it. What I find very ironic is that we talk about Blizzard on this show all the time, and yesterday we had one in Minnesota, but the guys over at Blizzard don't actually know what a blizzard is. They have they have 0 point of reference.
Nope.
That's the only blizzard that will ever be in Southern California.
That's true.
It's always fun being in warm states whenever it gets cold. Like when I was in Florida for Christmas, it dropped down to like 50 degrees one day. And on the news, they were making sure people knew how to use the heaters in their home.
Oh, man.
And to drive safe because there might be slick spots.
What?
Oh. Yeah.
It happens.
It's on the news.
It happens. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Twitch. Welcome, those guys at home or in the car or wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining us on another very busy week, actually. Lots of news, lots of stuff has happened, in the last couple of weeks. Last week was 7.3.5, and we've got to go back and talk about some of this stuff, because it was just funny. The forums, they're so funny. I like it. But
One
first,
word for it.
and this week we have all this Overwatch stuff to talk about. We've got Heroes of the Storm stuff to talk about as well. And a little bit of, maybe we'll pepper in some esports along the way, although we do have the Battlenet Sports Show for that, which I'm kind of digging. I hope you guys are too. But first, let's talk about what we've been up to in gaming lately. And Gizmo, I'm going to give you the spotlight here because you haven't been on since 2017.
Yeah, it has been a good bit. So yeah, I was out of town for several weeks and wasn't able to game very well except on my iPad. I came across a few cool games there. Yeah. But since I've been back, it has been Heroes of the Storm, World of Warcraft, and I bought a new toy called the Oculus Rift. So I've been spending a lot of time in VR as well.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about this. You've been talking about like seeing really cool stuff in VR, and I don't quite get it. So help explain, please.
It's so the number one problem with VR right now is marketing it is going to be almost impossible because you really can't explain it to somebody. It's like trying to say, market the new PlayStation or Xbox, but saying, hey, try out the N64. This is what it's like, but better.
Right.
So that, because that's, people have done phone VR and stuff. So it's just really hard, but it's 1,000 times better than I was expecting. I had tried them both before, but the games that are starting to come out on it are spectacular.
That's awesome.
Plus, I've watched HGC in a movie theater on a big screen in virtual reality.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's super fun. Yeah.
Wow. This feels like Ready Player One happening right now.
Wow.
God, that's cool.
Wow.
Jules, how about you? What have you been up to in gaming lately?
So I have been playing Overwatch. I've been just trying to make it through my placement games, which have not been going well in this last season. Placements only open during the holidays. And every time I go in, the teams just get wrecked. And then I get frustrated and then I log off. And I go play a quick match for a little bit. And I get frustrated because the teams are so bad. So I just log off.
It's called getting tilted. I do it all the time.
I do get tilted
all the time. And then after getting tilted with Overwatch stuff, then I go over to Rocket League and same thing. Damn it.
Get tilted there. It's what it is. But I would normally like 99% of the time will be playing a healer, and there's always that guy on the team that's like, can we get a second healer? And I'm like, dude, I'm already playing a healer. I'm not going to change. Like, it's like, and there's nobody going to change. And I would be willing to change, but they always need a healer. So, and then I had a really fun experience playing Heroes of the Storm with my friend Ferociously Steph when Blaze came out.
Yeah.
So I got to play a bunch of games while she was leveling up Blaze in quick match with a group of 5 and just wrecking face. And it's just an amazing experience to play with a Grandmaster level player making shot calls as you're going through in quick match. It's insanity.
That'd be cool, dude.
And it's so much fun. Like, and so I get to do this with her occasionally, and it makes me crave doing top level play because it's just so fun. Mm-hmm. And so that's been my gaming extent for the most part is gonna be Heroes and Overwatch.
Blaze is really fun. I mean, Gizmo,
you jumped in.
You probably know this already, but Blaze is actually really fun to play. The skill cap seems kind of high-ish. I mean, just kind of knowing what's going on, but I mean, really fun.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to him, but surprisingly, he's not like a Medivh type character where it's a really high skill cap, but also a really high skill floor. You can be useful on him, but if you have the skill, he can be absolutely incredible. Right.
It's cool. If you just want to burninate everything, you're great.
I'm perfect. So glad they put burninate in the voice lines. I love Tragor.
Oh, did they? I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Burninate.
I love it. Thyst.
Hi.
How are things for you? I know that you were doing a lot of the PvP type stuffs and the raid type stuffs.
How do you think I am, Pat? How do you think I am? Do you know what's going on right now?
With PvP, you're tilted all the time.
I Call of the Scarab is what's going on right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Pat,
And how is that for you?
And everybody else? Oh, it's peachy. It's just great. You know what? I'm not talking to anybody anymore. I'm upset.
For the Alliance?
How are we losing?
How is Horn losing?
How in the world are we losing? I've been busting my butt for days.
You keep on saying this we thing.
Yeah, I feel like we're winning.
Yeah, we're winning.
Listen. I'm going home. No, I'm just kidding. Home. No, it sucks. It seemed like the Alliance had a huge maybe 50 minutes in, like not even an hour, they had this huge advantage over us already. I don't know what's happening. Like maybe we're all just busy or something, but like I've been ganking as many people as possible. And like, I don't like to gank, you know, like if somebody's a lower level or, you know, obviously not as proficient in PvP as I am, like I'll leave them alone. It's fine if they're leaving me alone, whatever, but not during Call of the Scarab because this is important. Okay. It's really important.
Right.
I've been ganking so much that people have been like adding me as a friend, trying to add me as a friend to complain to me.
Nice.
Nice. You know, and I've been hanging out with my friends next to the gong, making sure that Alliance don't turn in their gathering quests for the day, and it's, you know, it's been really fun. But it just, no matter how hard I try, it's just like we're not winning, guys. Well, what are we gonna do? We're gonna win.
And part of that may be because not all servers are PvP servers.
I know that, but I mean, it's just the most effective way.
Well, sure. You're doing your part, and that's that.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, I'm doing all the dailies. I'm doing all the quests, you know?
That's
and
cool.
then, on top of that, I just make people really angry.
Yep.
But that's what Call of the Scarab is all about.
I went around Silithus today and was beating up on that big worm dude. And
Were you?
He throws you. He throws you halfway across the damn thing.
Unless you're a mage, and then you can just blink back. But then you pull all the aggro and die. So, you know, it's kind of like a lose-lose situation.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that.
I don't know. I'm just really disappointed in everybody, including myself. This is not good. This does not bode well for the rest of the year. Like, do you want to like fly back here? Like,
oh yeah, that's the whole thing. Is, you know, if the Alliance wins, Alliance flag flies for an entire year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
disgusting.
So way to go, guys.
Yeah, way to go.
Way to go.
Yeah, so I've been getting camped a lot in WoW, and that explains it. I thought there were some other things adding towards that, which I think there are. But if it, you know, helps, I started just kind of spawning and then waving at the people camping me until they killed me again and again and again. And this was on my Horde tune, so go Alliance.
Nice.
You're more than welcome to kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Well, as long as you're distracting them from doing all the Scarab stuff. Good.
So Gizmo, what level are you at on your Horde tune?
45.
45. And what zone are you going through?
Ungoro right now.
Okay.
And it was a journey.
Oh, did you journey
to
there?
get to Ungoro? I had no other choice. And that was a really difficult place to remember how to get to because I haven't walked there in years.
Yes. It's
nice.
very hard to walk there.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Well, I think we may talk about this further, but I want to, but I do want to just kind of go into the news part of the news because this kind of fits into it. So here's the news. There we go. Blah blah blah. And so let's talk a little bit about patch 7.3.5, which was live last week and had a bunch of bugs in it, which was not great. And then they had to redo a bunch of stuff on Friday, right? It was Friday, I think, when they took it down for maintenance again so that they could fix some of the stuff that they messed up the first time around. Great. But I want to talk about some of the stuff that's in here. So we have Scaling World, we have Ulduar Time Walking, we have a bunch of other things. But Gizmo, I want to talk to you specifically because I know that you were on your tune earlier. Have you done questing since 7.3.5?
That's all I have been doing.
Okay. So how was your experience before 7.3.5 versus after? Know what I mean?
Yeah, before 7.3.5, for the past several years, anytime I was doing an alt, it was just dungeon farming. Super quick. I hardly saw any of the world, except for maybe when I got to Outland stuff, because I didn't like those dungeons very much. Okay. But yeah, with some of the changes they have made to dungeons, to where they take longer, you don't get as much experience. And I feel like you get more gold, though. The bosses were dropping more gold, I feel like, which is kind of good. But it's just not worth doing it anymore. So I've started going to the world now that we have the scaling zones and questing there. But as I was alluding to earlier, because I had been dungeon crawling, I had no flight paths.
Right.
So I kind of feel like I've wanted this for a while. They should add on flight paths to zones as you're leveling up to get there. Especially now that they're wanting to do this, because I feel like everyone who had an alt when these changes went live probably didn't remember how to get to where they needed to go.
Right.
And yeah, it was like a 45-minute journey through 1,000 needles, which F that place. No, that place is awful.
Did you swim that?
I had to swim through it only to get to a mountain that I couldn't get up. Then I had to swim back and then wrap around through like 3 other zones, all while being camped. And it was awful. It was a terrible experience.
Oh no!
Yeah. It was not fun.
I'm sorry. I mean, oh my gosh, that's such a concerning thing.
Yeah, because you start through the barrens and stuff, and there's the big fissure in the barrens that I walked all the way down because I couldn't get across that, and then when I finally got across that, and it was 1,000 needles.
Wow,
it was awful, but I made it. I knocked out every flight path on the way that I passed, either necessarily or unnecessarily, which is most of them.
Right.
So good to go now.
Right.
But it's been good. It's cool going through older zones and everything scaling up to you, not just flying through them. Mm-hmm. But as I mentioned, I'm being camped a lot, and I feel like that's going to be worse than it was on PvP servers because there's not nearly as many people that are going to be dungeon farming.
Sure.
So there's going to be more people in the world, and that's just part of a PvP server. So you got to deal with it.
Right. Well, and I don't know exactly when they're planning on switching all that tech, but soon, TM, those PvP servers are just going to be servers, and then you elect whether or not you do PvP. So, I mean, it's kind of it's tough going right now, but I'm guessing that before Battle for Azeroth, it'll switch over at some point.
I think before, not during.
Well, I would think pre-patch or something,
Ooh, that's exciting.
That sounds like a pre-patch thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then they'll test it out, and then it'll be all ready to go by the time Battle for Azeroth. What are we calling it? Are we calling it Battle, or are we calling it Bazaroth, or are we calling it? I don't know.
Like Bazaroth.
Bazaroth. There's no.
Yeah.
Bazaroth. Okay.
Baffa.
Buffa.
Buffa.
What buffa? So yeah, so Gizmo, I'm gonna actually jump into checking out some of these zones now that we can go all the way through them and really check out the story. So I actually over this last week I set up 2 different tunes on 2 different continents on a server that I have no affiliation with. And it's not PvP because I didn't want to fight. I just was like, I just want to know the story. So hopefully soon I'll be streaming all of that stuff. But I started up a human paladin, which I found out was Chris Metzen's favorite character.
Yeah, it's his main tune. I found that out too. That
you know what? I believe that Chris Metzen was probably under the influence of back pain medicine.
Sure.
When he wrote that.
Because
that's not true.
He's recovering from surgery and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Because he wanted to know what it was like for an orc to get a straight back, so he went first.
We have to be careful. I think this entire world is shattering around her.
I think it already did.
Chris Metzen, Maine's Alliance. Alliance is winning call of.
Welcome to the Alliance show of Battlenet News, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I'm not having a good time lately. It's not. I didn't wear this red dress for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
You look great in red. I'll just say that.
I know. So does everybody else. Especially Chris Metzen.
Right. So anyway, so I have a human paladin, and then I also started up an orc hunter because that's where Zug came from, and I actually got the name too, so I'm happy. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. So I'm planning on, I'm not sure, hopefully this week I'll start to tear into that a little bit, but then I'm going to be going on a trip for a while, for like a week, and then so there goes that plan. But whatever, it's all good. Let's see. What else do we have? So 735. We also have Ulduar time walking, right? And is that this week?
Yes, I believe it started today.
Okay.
23rd. Today's 23rd. Yeah.
Yes.
So now you can go in with your team and do Ulduar time walking, which is awesome. Really great. Jules, you were raiding big time in Ulduar, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Like that was.
You remember?
That
all
was
the pain of it?
probably. Oh yeah. I mean, I just remember the opening fight and having to get into the vehicles and not knowing who was going to get into what vehicle and what seat in the vehicle, and but that was probably one of the most fun raids that I had ever done outside of doing Karazhan. So Ulduar was such a neat experience.
It's really cool, and there's a bunch of varied bosses and different mechanics to look at, and
yeah.
I mean, how many bosses are there? There's like
it's like 11,
like 300 bosses in there.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Just a guess.
I have memories of Ulduar because our team struggled with it quite a bit. We had a lot of, at that time, there were people that were just like rotating in and out of the team. So I just remember having this massive frustration while everybody else was killing all these amazing bosses. And I never even saw Mimiron until it was like towards the end because we couldn't get there. And now you go in there and you're like, well, before the patch, you were like, ha ha ha, I can nuke this place in 5 minutes, done. And now, well, yeah, then there's the patch.
Well, I guess the chat room is saying that it's Burning Crusade today, so it's not.
Oh, is it?
It's not Ulduar.
Okay.
But
I can feel the burning.
But soon, 735 allows Ulduar time walking, and it's still an awesome raid. So I like it. I went back through there recently to get some pictures. Actually, it was for the for BlizzCon for the party, and I was getting some background pictures and stuff like that, looking at all the cool stuff. It was great. I love it. I love it. One thing to note about Ulduar time walking is that the achievements are gone. They're legacy now.
Yes.
People were upset about that. About
I'm fine with it.
losing achievement points. Thyst, are you a big achievement point person?
No.
No, not at all.
Not really.
No.
No.
Well, it's all good.
I don't know. I kind of measure like my worth not on points, but no, wait, maybe I do. Does DPS like count as points?
Yes.
Because that's how I measure not only like my worth in game but out of game as well. Like if I do bad in DPS, I'm just like
DPS in real life.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trash. I'm trash. I'm at the bottom of the meters. You come off of that, you go out into the world, and you just hate yourself. If you're looking for validation, learn how to get good.
Right. Get good, noob.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Scrub.
My mental state. I can't. For the horde, right?
Right.
Right?
Sure, you can say that. I could say, hey, let's go, guys. I don't. Whatever.
Everybody has
you could
fun.
do it, team.
Hooray! No, talk like a gnome.
Oh my.
One thing you were talking about DPSing in dungeons and raids and stuff like that. Now because of the what should we call it? The scaling stuff. All the dungeons are now rewarding personal loot, and people were not happy about that.
Oh, something changed and people weren't happy about it?
What is this, World of Warcraft? Oh yeah, it is. No, it is. It is. Yep.
This is something I never understood, to be honest, because if you're running dungeons in lower level content, how often would people actually say, hey, so-and-so, do you need this? How often did that actually happen in Pugs? It seems kind of silly. Gizmo, whenever I leveled up an alt, I would just be chain running dungeons and nobody traded gear unless they were like super nice and you were actually getting a group of people that wanted to run more than one with you, which is, again, super rare. So I don't understand all the hype and the butthurt, but...
Well, I think a lot of it from what I read, because I haven't used loot in dungeons for years because I just used the heirlooms.
Right.
But a lot of people were upset because it affected their transmog because some things they wanted were in different sets. But I don't think people are thinking about the fact that you can change what spec you're wanting gear for.
Sure.
So that should help with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that there's other problems with scaling dungeons, and I saw it in chat as well about people saying it takes a lot longer to go through dungeons now because the bosses have more health and because they are scaling with you. It's the healers are running out of mana, and there are tons and tons of problems. But Gizmo, as you said, the XP isn't all that great either, right? So.
Yeah, they nerfed the experience you get for completing a dungeon as well. The difficulty isn't raised that far. It's just you're not one or two shotting non-bosses anymore. You actually It's like 10-15 seconds to get them down, and then you actually get to see some of the boss mechanics this time.
Wait.
Yeah, what?
Wait, I might have to read the dungeon journal.
Well, it's not as bad to where like you have to know like what mobs to CC or anything like that. You can still go through it easy. It's just not something you're going to want to do to level up.
Right.
But it's cool to go through them and actually experience some of the mechanics and stuff now. Occasionally, it's just different.
Yeah. Can I just say, like, I'm glad about all this, and I know I shouldn't be speaking on this really. Like, even though like World of Warcraft is my life, like I don't play it to the full extent, and I really don't level up any alts at all ever. Like I haven't in a really long time.
Sure.
But as you're old timey sort of like vanilla-y type person, like I'm thinking good. These kids need to learn. Like I spent so much time figuring all that out by myself on alakazam.com or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, scrolling through trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. And like, it was hard and it was frustrating. And at times I just got like so tilted. We didn't even call it tilt back then. We just call it getting angry and logging off, crying in another room for a while.
Right.
But I don't know, like that just built character and it made me appreciate everything that I had done. And I look back fondly on all of that, heartache and all of the blood, sweat, and tears I put into everything. And honestly, like it gave me a greater appreciation for the game. And, maybe the reason why I don't level alts is because, I have some bad memories about leveling and how hard it was and how long it took, but I appreciated it at the time. And I don't know, I feel like when things in World of Warcraft are a bit harder, people get angry, but at the same time, it kind of forces you to really dig in and play this game and figure it out and get to know it and get to appreciate it and to sort of like get immersed slowly into it. And honestly, the best part about all of that is it forces you to work together with your group. And sometimes that group are a bunch of people you don't know. And then you make these friends that you have, 14 years later? Like I have friends from vanilla. Like that kind of stuff forces you to communicate and kind of forces you to band together and to make friends. And like, I'm still playing World of Warcraft when I'm like an old woman, I'm going to look back and say, I definitely didn't waste my life because all of my best friends came out of this game. And that's how I made friends with them. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents, but I probably should be talking about it.
I mean, you're talking about having friends since vanilla. And I think that the World of Warcraft developers have heard you on this. And I hear that they just decided, like, because of what you said, they just decided that they're taking away looking for dungeon. They're going to take it away. You have to make friends on your server. Once again, they're putting in voice, so that's good. So you'll be able to hear them troll you.
Oh, good. Because that worked out well.
Right. You got to run to the summoning stone again.
No more running.
Summoning stone, and you have to get all your people together. You have to talk in the zone. You have to chat it up.
Talking to people.
I'll have to swim through 1,000 needles again and climb up mountains I can't climb.
Don't do that again, though. I can taxi you, bro. It's all good.
I asked for a taxi. No one wanted to give me one.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
dude, just text me. I'm always here for you. I'll always give you a ride on my dragon, if you know what I'm saying. But the thing is, though, like the first time I ever went to 1,000 Needles, I was like way, way, way low level. I could hardly get through the Barrens from Thunderbluff because I was a Tauren. And the only reason I was going through 1,000 Needles was because I misread something on Alakazam that said that you could buy a cat pet in Gadget Stand, and that was the only way to go. And I'm like, all right. So I went and I walked, and like you know, when you're so low level that even if you're on the roads, the mobs are like, nah,
Yeah.
you shall not pass.
Mm-hmm.
Every like a minute or so, you shall not pass. Like I'd get shut down by like a thunder lizard or something, or an elemental, or a snake with wings. I don't remember what they're called, but I would just like walk and die, and I finally got there. And you know what? That was years ago. That was over a decade ago, and I still remember that day.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I got there, and there was no cats.
Oh,
I remember a similar type of thing. I was walking along in Southern Barrens or whatever, and I was walking down the road, and I took a left. And I didn't know the game very well, and I wasn't even expecting anything. I was only level 18 or something like that. And this big level 36 crocodile just came and snapped me up.
Mm.
And it scared the crap out of me. My God, I just went, "What?" I didn't realize it was a scary game until then.
Yeah.
Scary.
It was super scary.
Lake Placid.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
Lake Placid. Right. So
it's like there's a call that goes out when a low level character hits the zone, and they're like coming out from the mountains to come to gank you on the road, because that's what always would happen to me. And we some like random cat coming flying out somewhere, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm only level 12. Why are you level 50?
right.
Oh,
and now we will
God.
never have that again. Even as we level up, we will never have that again. I mean, there are base starting points for some zones, especially for the early zones. But now, like Westfall is 10 to 60, so you can do all Westfall all day, and all week, all year,
Westfall all day. You guys
the
are
time.
like tempting me to go level another character. My
And
goodness,
It's fun.
and so you get to really see all the different things and whatever. So now,
And that's good.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
The game devs have been working on this game for years and years and years. And like, how many people can say, "Oh, Westfall, yeah, I spent like a month in there,
Right.
just going around doing everything, experiencing it all, like looking at all the rocks and trees." There's
Right.
just so much in this game. It's almost like people play this game to just sort of like get through it, But
Mhm.
World of Warcraft is literally a world. Like you can make this your whole life. Look at me. I'm not mental or anything because World of Warcraft is my life. Not at all.
Right. And everybody in
okay.
the chat is talking about how old they are, how old
Yes.
they feel after this chat. So,
yes.
how old do you guys feel? Let us know.
I mean, I got carded today, so I feel pretty darn good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Way to go. Let's see. What else is up with 735? So we've got the Silithus questing stuff, which
you say
I've
about
done. Which I've done the modern day Silithus questing stuff, right? Not just the Day of the Scarab or the Week of the Scarab or I don't know, whatever it is. And Thyst, you've done that as well, I'm assuming, right?
Of course.
How is it? Pretty simple, right?
Very simple. Just go ahead and do it. It doesn't take long.
No,
You're good.
It
But if
doesn't-
you're on a PvC server, like watch out because
yeah, some stuff, you might run into some people on that one.
you will.
Right. But it's super simple and it doesn't seem to continue week to week. So it's just like there were like 4 quests or something like that. And
Yep.
now, and this is all kind of leading up to stuff with your artifact weapons.
Yeah, stuff.
And
Just a taste. Slow build.
And probably all the things leading into Battle for Azeroth. The Battleground, the new Battleground comes out of that questing.
Ooh,
So
I'm so excited about that.
And that's just soon TM because we don't know when it's going to unlock. But
Not yet. But it'll make sense when it does, apparently. When it
Apparently.
is. I'm
So-
ready.
I did actually both sides of that quest. I did Horde side and Alliance side, and it's kind of cool because you get to kind of check out the Horde knows stuff.
We do.
And the goblins know stuff. I'm not sure if the Horde does, but the goblins know stuff. And the Alliance knows that the goblins are interested. So it's pretty cool. Check it out. Check it
The
out on
Horde
both sides
Doesn't
too.
the Horde doesn't think the Alliance knows? So
Yeah, we don't know that.
Right.
But how amazing were those cinematics?
The cinematics were great.
Like
Really
Tauren
good.
Gregory knocking it out of the park again.
And Christy,
I had to watch both. Usually I only watch the Horde, but I had to watch both.
And I'm not sure what Christy Golden's role is with all of that stuff. She probably had a hand in it too.
She did. She probably wrote them.
Probably.
She's like,
Yes,
this is what's going on.
Yeah. So
she knows.
it's awesome when you have these rock stars in the cinematic team. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Let's see what else. We have the legendary items for 1,000 woke essences. I'm calling them woke.
Whoa.
I'm calling
Really?
them woke. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Pat, you're so woke.
Yeah.
My essences don't define me.
All right, that's it.
Stay
Show's
woke.
over.
Wow.
That was great. I love that.
I missed you, Gizmo.
That was awesome, Giz. And so you can get I don't know if it's really. I mean, maybe I just haven't played enough. I haven't played enough WoW. I've been dealing with alts and stuff like that. I haven't been doing my essences runs. So, how goes it, Thyst, as far as the essences goes?
I've got tons of essence.
Yeah.
Like way more essence than I can even handle.
Wow.
Trying to bottle it and give it away.
Wow. You probably have all your legendaries too, because you only have one character.
Yeah, I'm on to the Arcane Mage legendaries now because I have all the Fire and Frost ones.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm good. It's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care
Nope.
at all. No.
So happy.
Right. Now let's see. We also had Jules. We also had world scaling that it was affecting older raid content too, right?
Yes. So if you're this was something that was talked about quite a bit on social media and also on the forums. Everybody who wants to go out there and to farm for old mounts going into these raids soloing, they can't. It's not passable. And Blizzard actually responded to this last week. I haven't seen an update since then. So I found this from like Thursday or Friday. And they said that we want to be clear. Our intention was never to greatly increase the difficulty of soloing old raid content for transmog or mount runs, but a side effect of the creature health tuning we did for leveling players. That's what happened. So they were working on a fix to. This was specifically for warlords and mists raid bosses. Because I know there are a lot of people and people who are in our chat room right now who are, they go out every week and they're out there farming for old mounts and for raid bosses and also transmog gear. And you can't solo it anymore. That kills a lot of that content for people.
Right. And I think this was part of the Friday switcheroo too, because
Did that happen Friday?
Well, they took everything down for maintenance on Friday, and they fixed a lot of numbers. And I think that when they fixed them, they actually made it so that the bosses had less health than they did in 7.2.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. It was only a few days. This goes back to the whole buggy thing, I think.
It's just funny because like every time there's a major patch, something goes wrong, and like that's okay. That's the only way they're gonna find out, right? Like besides all the PTR testing and stuff, but something goes wrong, and then in the time between like Blizz like addressing it and then ultimately fixing it, which they always do.
Yeah.
People are freaking out and just like accusing them of like lying and withholding information, and I pay $15 a month, blah blah blah. It's like, oh my god, like there's patches every couple months. Can we just relax? Like everything's gonna be fine.
Right.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Because
Every time
people were not done freaking out, especially later. Well, actually, earlier this week, I guess, because yesterday was it just yesterday that they announced?
Yeah,
this?
I think so.
Yesterday they announced. Well, Jules, I'll let you talk about it since you seem to be wound up about it. What happened?
Well, okay, so we got a notice yesterday that, and it started hitting social media, was where I saw it, is that the XP boost from Recruit a Friend was reduced from 200% bonus to 50% bonus. And that heirloom gear XP bonuses will no longer stack with the Recruit a Friend bonuses effective yesterday, which was the 22nd. So that's when the announcement hit. They said ongoing recruit a friend participations remain unaffected for up to 90 days.
Right.
That this was in direct conflict with the dynamic leveling. Like basically they didn't want you to go and recruit a friend and then go out there and try to beat the system to circumvent the changes that they made for leveling in 7.345.
Well, I think there were a couple of things. And just to kind of run through it a little bit more. So when you do recruit a friend with your account, you get one boost, right? So if you want to be max level with your friend, or start leveling up with your friend during current stuff, that's cool. You can do it right away. So there's no real rush to go through that stuff. So if you really want to have an alt, start an alt run and go through, you're doing it for a different reason. You don't have to rush because you get that one free tune. And then so the second time around, it doesn't make much sense. Or at least that's the reasoning that Blizzard gives, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. To me.
Yeah, that's a little bit. I didn't realize that you got a free boost whenever you did that. So
with your account. So
it's been ages since I've done recruit a friend. So but Blizzard did respond today on the forums, and they were saying, we don't want you to feel like you have to go out there to like buy a new copy of the game, put it on a separate account, send it to a refer event. Because a lot of people do this. Like we do this for ourselves, where we're actually making our own recruit a friend account, and it's not actually another person there.
Right.
And so I think that was what they were trying to address with these changes. But then all the people who actually recruited friends and actually wanted to level up with friends were like, whoa. Hold your phone.
Right.
I've never done that because all my friends are already in WoW when I met them.
You will never make any new friends in WoW ever.
Oh, man.
Well, they're taking away LFD, so it'll be fine. You'll make new friends all the time.
Yeah, that's true. WoW. I'm a mage, so I've got ports, so most popular.
Right. There you go.
Fine with that. Only charge 100 gold for ports.
Especially if people want to get to, I don't know, 1,000 needles.
Ancient Zelrin.
Silithus.
Oh, God.
No, Ungoro. Sorry. So
is most traumatized.
I am leveling up to 60 in Ungoro. I'm not leaving because it took me so long to get there.
Right.
Good for you, man.
You can't get out now.
Journey to
with the dinosaurs.
Journey to Ungoro.
Have fun with all the big dinosaurs because they're gonna kick your butt for a while.
Right.
The Devilsaur has gotten me a couple times.
It was
everywhere.
It was weird flying over all these zones on my max level hunter and seeing them all be level 60. I was like, oh wow. Yeah, that's weird.
Wow.
Weird. Wow.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, actually, I didn't mention this, is you can no longer, like when you're running now, it's not as quick because everything attacks you now.
Everything?
So everything.
I suppose.
So you can't just like run by the low level stuff anymore.
Oh wow. Like the little low level trogs.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
They're no longer low level trogs.
No, they're your level trogs.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, you need a
they're
bodyguard.
your level trogs. Yes.
There's your show title right there.
I think so. I was just about to write that down.
Yep.
Any other WoW stuff that is going on that we should talk about that you guys noticed with 735 and stuff like that? Thyst?
I noticed we're not winning Call of the Scarab. I noticed that.
Right.
We still have time though. There's still a few hours.
If only Chris Metzen was helping. Oh wait, he is helping us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah.
Thanks,
you are
Chris.
cold. You are cold,
Thanks,
Gizmo. Cold.
He is. He's very, very cold.
Me.
He's chilly. He's just back from Florida. Kansas City, a little colder.
It is.
Yeah, a little bit. All right. Well, let's move on to maybe some Overwatch. How about that one?
Oh, this is my jam.
So Blizzard World is now live, and for that they get the big applause. Yeah! There we go. So awesome. So killer. Jules, I know you were running around in there earlier today. What were your
gosh.
impressions of Blizzard World?
I was giddy. I was so happy. It was so much fun. They just nailed it. And it makes me want them to build the actual Blizzard world because it looks so freaking cool. Like you start the map. Once you got now your spawn point, you're like running up the stairs in Stormwind, and they're playing the Stormwind theme as you're running up the stairs. And then you get into this big area where there's just a bunch of different shops, and it's so cool. Thank goodness I was playing Quick Match because I kept getting distracted in I'd go into a little side store and then I'd look around and there's a fight going on outside and I'm like, oh, I should be healing people. But look at that. There's a Hearthstone thing there. And there's this.
There's all these Murloc plushies everywhere.
Oh,
yeah,
so
that's
much
crazy.
fun. And then there's Snacks Ramus and I just wanted to stay in there forever. And
Snacks Ramus is awesome.
Oh, it's so cool. They completely nailed it. And sure. For real, BlizzCon 2018, let's announce the new Blizzard World theme park for real.
I think they should put it in. So they have this new area of BlizzCon. I think they should put Blizzard World in that little annex part, in that new section. That'd be so awesome.
Oh, it'd be so much fun.
So awesome. I mean, there's a Hearthstone thing in there. That's one of the places that you start in, a Hearthstone tavern. It's really neat. They've got roller coasters in the background. Not that you can do it or anything like that. I do have a problem with it, though.
What?
The sight lines are really long. Really long. Tremendously long. If you're defending point A, you're good until you're not good, I guess. But,
yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot more Bastion and Torbjorn play, defending point A at least. Really long sight lines, and they can just blast you from a mile away. So
yeah, because there's that straight shot right into the point that you have to come through unless you decide to flank. But it's everything. It's the same kind of funnel thing that happens on a couple of the other capture points. And so, yeah, I was just getting beaten up by a Widowmaker and a Symmetra on that map specifically. They were just straight down. Either side you went, it would just be nuke every time you try to catch the point.
Symmetra wrecks on a normal day, but in that map, she is kind of queen especially if she's going with the payload. Really, really good.
I love me some Symmetra.
Really, really good.
That's what we dealt with when Junkertown came out, though.
What?
That first push, that really long sightline, just it seemed impossible until everybody started trying to figure out how to get past that. But I remember just absolutely hating that map until we all kind of figured it out,
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as you pop out there, there's a Widow. This
one seems even longer. And I think it's just because it's going to point A before you get to the payload, so it's not a full payload map. And because you're not having to move something along, I just feel like it moves on forever. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Thyst, have you played around with the new map?
I did on the PTR. I haven't had a chance to get on yet today, but I did spend all day writing about it. So that wasn't really, really hard.
Well, and that's not the only new stuff with the latest patch for Overwatch, is it? I mean, we've got lots of really cool skins, new sprays, new goodies for the new year.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have favorite things?
I bought myself the Symmetra Peacock skin. I just thought, I don't know, I love Symmetra, obviously, but I just thought it was super cool. It's if you look at it, it kind of looks understated, but then if you really look at it, it's got this really amazing effect where it's sort of multi-chrome, color shift as she moves. It's gorgeous. But there's I got the McCree, the new McCree, the Royal McCree. There's the Caution Junkrat. There's the amazing
awesome.
Gold. Oh, it's so great. It fits him so well. There's that amazing golden Farah with she's got bangs now, which I'm feeling. Oh my god.
That is the best Farah skin yet.
Yes.
So
without a doubt. And then obviously yesterday Black Kitty Cat Diva came out, and honestly, like if I didn't have a really awesome Dallas Fuel skin for Diva, I would probably be wearing that because it's got a tail. That's adorable.
Aww.
But I guarantee, like, within the coming weeks, you will only see Kitty Cat Diva and no other divas because the internet exploded. Like, it's just been, like, I manage a page called Overbabes.
Yeah.
And I basically just put up, like, artwork of Kitty Cat Diva all day long, and people were just eating it up and, like, lamenting that they were still at work and they couldn't go get it, or lamenting that they didn't have enough gold or money to get it, and just, I think it's, like, the most popular skin that's come out yet.
Well, and I think that with all the different skins out there, everybody was just, like, throwing their wallets at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, I bought some.
Gizmo, you seem to be enthusiastically shaking your head.
I am. They are finally kind of, we've had Heroes of the Storm do Overwatch stuff. We've had Nova become Widowmaker. Now they're doing the opposite, and Overwatch is getting Heroes of the Storm skins.
I love it.
Which is awesome. There's a Nova Widowmaker skin.
There's the Roadhog Butcher. And Sonya. Yeah.
Sonya.
Zarya. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was trying to say those two names are too close for me. I can't do that. And then a Muradin Torbjorn, and they look incredible.
They look
I'm super stoked.
Amazing. So it's really, really cool. And I love that they were able to do the Blizzard World map because that means that we get all the fun stuff. I mean, we get all the fun stuff that we love about all of the Battlenet games, right? I mean, so you get the best of everything, and it's just
yeah, like how great is it to be a Blizzard fan right now? Like I'm playing a Blizzard game with Blizzard games in this game of Blizzard.
Right.
And I love all that.
Right.
And here it all is.
And yet they've never seen a Blizzard over at Blizzard Games.
Full circle.
Right.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. So what else is going on with Overwatch right now? We've got Jules. What else is coming up?
So I wasn't actually clear on. I don't think this hit in the patch, but
okay.
There is going to be. This was actually teased before Christmas that there are movement changes coming to Overwatch to kind of fix some of the problems that they're having. Some buggy kinds of things like incline changes, and acceleration changes. How characters how fast they can change their movement velocity depending on if they're in the air or on the ground. That people were kind of like, what are you guys talking about? Why are you doing this? So like they gave a really good example. If you're flying as Pharah, you can now just press forward and you will properly accelerate moving forward instead of having to counter accelerate to stop sideways drift.
Okay.
So they're trying to tune this a little bit better so that there's just not this weird stuff that's been kind of happening in the game and people just kind of accept that it's there. You can go onto the Overwatch forums. It's a forum thread posted by Jeff Goodman about movement update. That's not. I don't think it's in the game yet though, because it didn't show up in the last patch notes.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So there is that.
I'm not looking forward to that because I'm gonna have to like muscle memory relearn everything.
Right.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna suck for a few weeks.
Especially with Pharah, if they're changing the way that she moves about, I'm gonna be it's gonna be a little bit of trouble. For sure.
It's so funny how muscle memory just becomes like, how everything. You maneuver that character for everything. And you adapt to these weird little nuances that the game has to it. Like, yeah, I hate the fact that this character does this, but my brain is going to make me just take care of it.
Yep.
Right.
And so I know there's going to be, guess what? Complaining going on when they do make the changes.
Sure.
This, come on. Like, don't you,
I don't believe it.
I know. I'm going to tell you it's going to be coming and you're not going to believe me.
Right. Hey, something else that people will probably get mad about at some point is Jeff Kaplan went on YouTube and was talking about hero number 27 some more.
Yes.
And about how it's going to change the meta.
That's fine with me.
Yeah?
Let's shake it up. Whatever.
So
I'm ready.
So what do you think hero 27 is going to be? I mean, how can you change up the meta how can you be so sure that you're going to change up the meta? I mean, what would you expect with something like that? I mean, I think Moira actually changed the meta pretty good, right?
I mean, she tried, but Mercy is still the #1 player that the Overwatch League,
Yeah,
or the #1 hero that the Overwatch League players are using.
But she's like, Moira's like a disc priest, though. And that's pretty cool. Mercy's damage is kind of pitiful. But
True.
So, so what are you expecting? Anybody, I'll leave this open so anybody can just jump in. Does anybody have particular abilities, thoughts about who it is? Anything?
I don't know about abilities or anything, but I would think if he's, hinting at changing the meta, maybe being something anti-dive. I think that seems to be a pretty big thing right now with Tracer and Genji.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know who it would be or what the abilities would be, but
right. I think people are watching too much Overwatch League, where everywhere is a dive comp.
Yeah,
like every
and people
map.
are trying to bring that to game when they're not good Tracers or Genjis because they're hard characters.
I suck at both of those.
I'm awful at both of them as well.
I'm terrible.
And yeah.
That's why I go with Diva, and then that way I can explode things.
Yeah.
Like all the heroes that I play explode things. Diva,
That's true.
Pharah,
You do.
Junkrat. Those are my
Insight,
those are my top 3.
So you're a
personality.
what are they? A projectile hero fan?
Yes, I love explodey things.
Exploding projectiles.
Sure.
I gotta get with the lingo now. You got your projectiles and your scan heroes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be Lynx 17, who is an Omnic character that was featured in, I don't think it was the latest comic, but it was the comic with Zarya.
Okay.
It gave a little bit of her background. I think it's going to be him. I think we're due for another Omnic character, and I think he's going to be a builder, and I think he's going to be OPAF.
Well, that's usually the way it goes with a new hero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just OP so that everybody plays them, and then everybody gets angry or rejoices either way.
Well, Lynx 17 showed that he had some hacking abilities, so I'm thinking maybe like he can hack other people's turrets to turn them against each other or something, or maybe he'll have control of some sort of robot that can do things for him, or I don't know.
Mind control.
Yeah.
Like mind control. Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's
Or
funny when you
Rocket Cat.
Rocket Cat.
Rocket Cat.
All right.
I mean, you guys know Rocket Cat, right?
I'm not.
They were considering making a hero before all the other heroes came out. It was just a cat with a rocket on its back.
Just that, and then just just claws you.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Just
Unless it was
claws
Rocket Dog,
just-
but I'm pretty sure it was Rocket Cat.
It attaches with its claws to your thigh, scrapes down your leg with deep gashes, and then explodes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You have to go back to the spawn room and apply the Bactine before you get cat scratch fever, and then you lose.
Right. Rocket Cat scratch fever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, that makes sense. Somebody in chat says that hero number 27 will be Jeff Kaplan.
Oh,
Will actually be Jeff Kaplan in game.
Oh gosh.
I've always wanted to be a Jeff main.
I'm telling Ian.
Oh.
Do it.
Rails, we have fallen off of them.
I like it
Hey,
when
did
we
you
do
hear
that.
Ian's an Alliance character or Alliance player?
I don't think that's true.
No, I don't think that's true either. Well, he probably does play Alliance for work.
Yeah, for work.
Research purposes.
For research.
Yeah.
That's it. Wouldn't it be great? Like one of the team has like a new quest line to go through, and they're like, "Okay, it's all ready, boss. You feel free to go check it out if you want." And he's like, "I don't play Alliance. How can I check this out? This is weird." No, of course.
Get my intern to do this nonsense.
That's right. All right, let's move on to some Heroes of the Storm.
Turned up to 11.
So Heroes of the Dorm has been announced. Actually, all of the TESPA stuff has been announced as far as what's going on with them. And for the most part, if you're a college player and you want to win tuition dollars, go to TESPA.org now and sign up for it, because Heroes of the Dorm, Hearthstone, StarCraft 2, all that stuff is over there right now. And they're signing people up. So get in on it, because it closes in February, like early Feb.
Yep,
So.
the 5th.
Yeah, you only get a couple of weeks, and that's for everything. So, Heroes of the Dorm. Let's see, Jules. What's going on with it? What's the timeline that we're looking at?
Well, first of all, every time you say this, you have to basically say "Heroes of the Dorm."
I don't have to say it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
That was great.
I'm not saying it. No, that was.
That's
good.
how they say this on
now.
every single hype video. Like, it's just Heroes of the Dorm. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
we're in registration phase right now for Heroes of the Dorm. Teams can go out there and start registering up through February 5th, and they start season play starting February 5th to March 8th. And then it's like coming up right to regional championships March 11th, bracket play March 28th, and then they haven't said when the Heroic Four is happening. They haven't said where it's happening.
Right. But it's always like middle of April, right? I mean, that's traditionally the last couple of times it's been middle of April. And
yeah. Last year they held it in Vegas. I'm kind of hoping that they do the same again, because that would be really cool. I really want to go to Dorm at some point.
They could do Burbank.
That's true. Why did I not think of that?
Right.
That would make sense. I would think that, but I'm actually thinking they're going to go somewhere else, because they would. I don't feel like they would have to put TBD for that, because they would know.
Sure.
And they can schedule it. But if they're looking at another place, then, well, they don't have that information
and plus,
yet.
Overwatch League is going on. Who knows what's going on with that stuff? We've got the WoW esports stuff going on. We've got, there's so many esports stuff that's happening, and Overwatch League especially is taking over Burbank right now. So
yeah,
yeah.
Well, don't they have multiple stages?
Do they?
No.
I didn't think so.
They only have one.
I think they just have one.
But that's only a few days a week.
Yeah,
on my raid nights.
That's a really big stage to have to.
It's Wednesday through Saturday. That's a big window right there. So I don't know. Whatever.
I just don't think that they have the Burbank Arena has the space for what Heroes of the Dorm drew for the previous events. Like I don't think that it's big enough.
Probably not.
Because they've been to Seattle previously and then to Vegas, and they're filling out really large arenas to do this event. So
gotcha.
And also should mention too that it is being broadcast on Twitch this year, which is a welcome change from last year, where they tried to push. Yeah, that was a disaster.
Facebook.
Yeah, and then they did that, pushing it exclusively to Facebook, and then people were so not watching it that it wound up becoming streamed through their website, heroesofthedorm.com, so you could watch it there at least and not have to deal with the Facebook crap. But it was not on Twitch, and it has not been on Twitch. And so this makes me a happy camper.
Yes, as a fan, that's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about esports a little bit, I feel like I need to talk about esports like every show now. I know there's just so many esports going on right now. Gizmo, there was a tweet earlier, was it today that it went out?
Mm-hmm.
Just this green GIF.
It's like I don't like
calling it a GIF, guys. I want to call it a GIF because that's what I'm used to. But it's a GIF, I guess. Just this green thing. What's going on?
So when this first was posted, a lot of people were thinking we may see Mal'Ganis or some Dreadlord, which I was in line with until somebody had responded to the post and said, OMG, 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 it's Maeve, 150%. And they responded with a GIF, a moving picture that's like 2 seconds long. I'll just say that. of it's pretty much the same background, but with Maeve kind of tapping on it, and it is kind of similar to the gems that she, locked. Illidan, yes, away in. Illidan, yes. So it could potentially be her. And there has been talk about one of the reasons they made the changes to stealth heroes was so that they could be more versatile and kind of be open-ended to what they're doing and not have to worry about that being a balancing issue. So it would make sense that now that stealth changes have gone through, that it may be time for her to come into the game.
Oh, I get it. So it all makes sense. That's why they did the stealth changes. Or maybe they just needed to work on them.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Probably that.
Either way. Any other stuff going on in Heroes that we need to know about?
Not much as far as basic things. Performance-based MMR, it's still not a thing, unfortunately. But we did get some sweet mech skins last week. That the animated trailer is so good, and everyone should get those skins.
I'm still feeling the feelings that I got from that trailer. Like,
it's good.
Deep within my heart and body. Oh man,
it's one of my favorite Blizzard trailers of all time.
Same. It brought me right back to like sitting on the carpet in front of the TV when I was a little kid, watching the beginning of X-Men come on with the sweet screaming electric guitar and the sweet awesome animation and just like the explosions and the mecha Shivas and everything. It was just wonderful. It was wonderful.
I mean, even though it was outsourced, so they didn't actually make it, but it was still good.
Still cool.
Still good.
Who cares who made it?
I mean, it's still Blizzard.
Well, I said it was one of my favorite Blizzard trailers of all time, and I want to. It is
mostly Blizzard.
Hey,
mostly Blizzard.
They came up with it. They storyboarded it. It's all good.
It's their characters.
Yeah, it totally is. Mecha Rhaegar looks amazing. Oh my gosh.
Everything looks
so cool.
good, Mecha.
It really does.
Yeah.
But if you haven't checked out the new skins, guys, make sure to log into Heroes of the Storm and check them out because they are really, really cool, and they're selling a bunch of bundles for those things, and so it's awesome. I actually had to log in a game just to check out those mech skins.
Wow, you did, huh?
Oh yeah. I didn't actually play. I just checked out the mech skins. And then
okay.
And then I had to get over to WoW and see what was going on over there. So, it's all good.
I understand that.
Yeah. Anything else in any of the games at all? All right. Well, I think we will get out of here for now. But before we do, I will play this music. And then the guys will tell you where you can find them and all that kind of jazz. And what's coming up soon for these guys. Jules, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JulesRPG. You can hear me on the latest episode of Battlenet Sports talking all things HGC first week. And you can hear me on Tauren Think Tank, which is going to be recording on Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central.
Right. And you're also on Nerf This.
Oh, yes. And I'm also a contributor for HGC on the Nerf This podcast. I am on their latest episode talking about the preview for HGC, so you can check that out there. It's nerfthis.gg.
.gg. Okay.
Yes.
And Gizmo.
Yes.
I like your head bob. That's nice. That's nice. What's going on with you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, all those things at Gizmozord, as well as my Heroes of the Storm podcast, Lords of the Storm, which is Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central.
Tomorrow night.
If you are listening to this early enough, our episode this week, January 24th at 9 p.m., yes, is our 150th episode.
Hey, congratulations.
We're not doing, thank you. We're not doing anything like super big like it would be 100, but we are going to have lots of codes and stuff to give away thanks to Blizzard.
Oh, awesome.
So we'll be doing that in our live show, and we'll also be doing it throughout the week on our Twitter and Discord and things like that, so keep an eye out.
Perfect. That sounds great. Congratulations on 150 shows, buddy. That's
Yes,
awesome.
Congratulations.
I will
Wow.
give you the big applause as well. Thyst.
What?
Where can people find you and your stuff?
Oh, geez, my stuff. You can find me on Twitter at Thyst03. I do a podcast called Lagging Balls. It's usually weekly. We didn't do one last week, but we did an extra long one this week to make up for it. So that's out now. You can find me doing stuff about writing things about Blizzard games, mostly Overwatch, doubletap.com. That's DBLTAP.com. And I'm on this cool new esports podcast. What's it called? It's something about sports.
I don't know.
Like Battlenet Sports.
Battlenet Sports. Yeah, Battlenet Sports. It's the new thing. And soon, TM, that will probably be going on to its own channel, onto its own little channel thing. Because I kind of dig it, and I think other people do too. And I want to put it someplace where we get more of the esports crowd over there and get a specific crowd over there. Listen to it. So it'll be soon. TM.
Yeah.
TM. But that's gonna do it for the show. If you wanna get a hold of me at all, make sure to find me on Twitter at Pat Crane with a K, or at Convert to Raid works too for all the Twitter stuff, and you can join in on the conversation anywhere we are. ConvertToRaid@gmail.com. You can jump into our Discord at any time, and that is discord.converttoraid.com. That's the URL that you would use. So just so you know. Don't look for it while you're in Discord that way. It's not the same thing. Just saying. And you can join the Bazooka Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com. That's where we have everything now. We have our show downloads, we have our audios, our videos, our guild stuff is over there, our swag store, brand new site, kinda. Big facelift over there, Blizzard news, lots of stuff, and you can even check out all of these guys and what they're doing in the Convert to Raid podcast network, which is right down at the bottom of the homepage. Just click on their show. Listen. Come on in. ConvertToRaid.com. That's it. Convert to Raid is produced and distributed by Signals Media, and that's going to be it for the show. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this. Thyst, Jules, Gizmo, Twitch chat. Thank you, guys. You really chatting it up tonight. It's really great to see. And thanks also to our listeners out in the real world somewhere. Whether you're at home or in the car or wherever, thank you so much for listening to us. We really do appreciate it. And for all the guys at Convert to Raid, we will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You can stop waving now, Gizmo.